Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jersey and today we are bringing you another house build for RuneScape, and I'm excited for this one. This one is gonna be kind of like a 3-level home. You got your first floor, you got your second, and you kind of have an attic on the top that also you can go out to 3 balconies. Now this is the walkthrough right here. This is gonna be your end result of the design that we're working on, right? We're finally evolving and leveling up our pieces using better quality materials and trying to give it a whole different look. Now, I'm trying to go with a kind of fantasy style cabin, medieval time type of feel like that. And having the balconies, having the roof, the little side shed on the side, the little nook on the other side. We actually added shutters on the window just to give it that whole different look. We got like this whole section over here where we're putting the torches just to illuminate. And again, we have a nice entryway. We have a deck that's going around the area that also you can expand it. If this is going to be your first build, maybe this is going to be your second build, maybe you adding something else and you still want to kind of separate the items that you're having in RuneScape and you want to use it for something else, and you can use it. As you can see on this side, we have a little nook right over here. We got the back. The back is kind of nice and simple. It's just a straight wall, and we just have kind of just giving a little something in the roof in the back so it doesn't look as boring. Again, the deck is already all fenced in, as you can see over there. And then on the inside, when we go on the inside, it's not completely done in the sense because I don't know what exactly I want to use the inside of the house for just yet. So just for the now, I have like a temporary stairs just leading you all the way up to each of the floors. But again, I'm gonna work to make those stairs very nice when it comes to the inside of the home. But this is the video to how to make everything happen and to build this home. Now, something that I will tell you right now is that don't forget that you can slow down the video on YouTube when it comes to sections that might be a little going fast, because this is a speed build and I do edit them, right? So as I'm building this, I had to edit a lot of the stuff that didn't work and leave the good stuff in. So it is a little bit, sometimes I can't leave it all in. So hopefully this will make sense at the end. But don't forget that you can also slow down the video. As you can see, we made it to the attic over here, and then we got doors and all of that. Now there is a portion of the video that is showing a lot of the detail that I was doing. For some reason, that portion of the video got corrupted. It was not salvageable, and it just kept giving error and it didn't want to upload. So I was like, man. But the great thing is the house build is done. Now you can always refer back to this walkthrough over here or kind of the little last section of the build, and you should be able to see some of the few changes, and I'll try to point it out as we do the video, especially when we get to the end result. But I hope that you enjoy this little walkthrough, this little presentation on what you're going to be building today. I really love the way this came out, and we're gonna get started, right? And like always, to get started, we're gonna start with our foundation. Now the foundation is very important. Make sure you always using the floor foundation, because that is what's gonna hold the most weight. Something that I learned now is that the tier 2 foundation can actually hold more weight. So that means that you can go a lot higher without using all the support beams and all of that compared with the normal wood foundation. So that's actually really cool. And thank you so much for everyone that left tips and always just kind of voicing out their experience and also helping me to be a better builder when it comes to RuneScape. But as you can see, we're gonna start right here and we're gonna start the process, and we're gonna start with a little foundation. Now again, just gonna mention one more time, don't forget you can slow down the video on YouTube. Once you watch it the first time, feel free to slow down in those parts that you need he can help you build. But as you can see, we did the foundation and now we're gonna do the wall. Something that I'm gonna go back on is, I don't know why I didn't think about it. I was just putting the walls and I forgot that you can rotate the walls and have those beams kind of attached in different ways. So I still gotta do that even in the final result, and go back, especially the back wall, because it's all looking the same. And I want those beams to just meet in a different way. So if you catch yourself early right now, then make sure that you put the walls and those beams that go diagonal in the direction that you want. So just a little heads up right there. Now, once you put the walls down, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do another extension, right? And as you can see, like always, I always like to do a little half right here. It does make the buildings taller, but once again, if you want a higher ceiling and you don't want the ceiling to be touching the character or too close when you go in with the camera, this gives you a little breather room. It is trickier, and I will say it again, it is trickier because the dimensions change from kind of like a traditional home or stuff like that. But it's just more working on it, and I think everybody can, you can really get through it if you want to. But if you don't want to, you can then take out that little middle area and you don't have to do it. Okay, so as you can see, we got the one wall on the bottom, we got the half wall, and then we got another big wall. Now, I started doing a double door over here, but again, that will change eventually. It will become a single door. And once you get like this little frame area that we got over here, now we're slowly gonna start elevating, and we're gonna start working on the roof structure. Now, I actually got a lot better with all your tips and all the advice that everybody's leaving in the comments below, and I'm able to work on the roofs a lot better. I'm able to zoom in, out, kind of work, understanding now the foundation helps me a lot better. But I will say that when it comes to this roof portion of the video, that is when you're gonna need to slow down, because there was I was trying to come up with this design, and I wanted to come out in particular directions, and I got confused. I myself got confused many times trying to create this, because I was trying to work it a lot better. One of the big tips that they told me was work on the outline and then work on the inside. So I was trying to do that. So you can see right now I'm trying to do kind of more like the outline and the outer frame, and then worry on the inside. But then when it came to the roof, I had not enough connection. But either way, I'm still learning and trying to get better at RuneScape. But as you can see over here, we're doing a little edge work around it first, and then we adding the pieces. I'm adding the pieces of the balconies, as you can see, and then I'm adding a couple pieces where at first I was thinking I was gonna do like this hanging type of beam scenario, but I ended up not doing it. So, but for now, you can just kind of follow along, do the same wood pieces if you need to, and then take them off, because I will eventually take them off and not use it for the idea because it kind of did not work. And but yeah, but that's the thing, right? When you're building, you gotta give all that trial and error and see what your ideas, if they all work or not. Okay, so now what we're doing here, we're doing the we're gonna try to still finish doing the roof piece over here. And again, this is the section that I myself got confused. I was trying to figure out, because I'm doing this pieces, right? And they're full pieces and half pieces at the same time. And then to get everything center and the doors and then the frame, I gotta go, I'm going like in the middle with the advanced clipping, snapping, and you gotta go everything in the middle when it comes to the door frame and all that. So I was trying to decide which route did I wanted to go, and again, as you can see, just keep following along, pause the video, slow it down. There's gonna be some deleting and stuff like that until I got exactly the same in the front, the back, and then the side. Now I finally got it. That's what it should look like right there. And now we adding the walls. Now these walls eventually would change, and because I changed my mind, and then I decided to put like doors or windows and stuff like that. So you can go ahead and in that middle piece, you can add a door or you can add windows. Eventually I did replace them for windows, so that's what I did. So just kind of a little heads up. Now over here, as you can see, we are attaching one area from one way to another. Now, because this is where I'm putting, again, I'm building kind of this little foundation, because we gotta meet all the roof, right? If you saw the thumbnail, the picture, the roof is kind of one of the most important part about this build, because the main walls are just kind of straight up, right? but the roofing is what's going to give it this look that we want, right? And the roofing, it goes in couple different directions, and it's important. And also I needed the support so it can kind of hold and be in place. So that's what you're seeing right here. So just keep following along, slow down the video if you need to, but we're doing all the flooring, we're doing the division, and then we're gonna put the walls that's gonna go up. Now, just to be sure, I added a little support beams over here just to add a little more weight. They're gonna be connecting to the area, so I'm gonna add those support beams, and that, to me, it's just gonna help it out and hopefully make sure that I don't hit those weird scenarios that's like, oh no, it's not working, you know, kind of like what's facing before. As you can see over here, I'm putting markers where I'm gonna put the little wall over here, because this is one of the first walls that the roof is gonna start coming down, right? And then we're gonna go the opposite way. So, and we need the roof to kind of clip into a wall so it can hold in place, so we can go from back and forth and then to the side. So that is what you're seeing we're building right here on the top, and it's really cool. It's crazy that the way RuneScape works, I have to do all this work to make the roofing system, right? And then underneath this roof system is where we got the little attic, right? The little attic of this build, and then you got the full second floor and the first floor. So, and I like the idea that we were able to do a little attic on this one. So I think it just gives it a little nice look. So as you can see, we started working with the back of the building. We started adding the roofing, and as you can see, everything is in place. Everything is still good. So I'm liking this. So eventually those wood pieces that you see that are still hanging, we're gonna delete those, you know, and I did them slowly just to make sure nothing was gonna fall. Everything was good, so then I didn't need this to hold in weight, and as you can see, we're deleting those right there. And then slowly everything was working out good. It's always a little nerve-wracking because you're unsure. Now this is the only piece for some reason that I could not put roofing like the other two. So there's something that I still did wrong when it comes to the weight, maybe to the support. So what I needed to do is kind of add those pieces just to make it work. As you can see right there, I added those, and then I was able to delete it, and then it works. And I did add it in the bottom also. I added a little bit of the flooring too. So I don't know why it does that to me, but it worked, and that's why I left it so you guys can see it. So now we're doing the front. Now the front and the back, there's two different things when it comes to the roofing, because in the front we're gonna have all this ones that are going to the side, right? We're gonna make this triangle just to give it, again, something different to look at. And so the front is definitely gonna be different than the back. So you're gonna do 2, 1, and then 2, and one, and the one in the middle is gonna like kind of like clip in. But then eventually we took that out, and we're gonna do the corner pieces. And it's so great that this game has the corner pieces. I'm so happy. Been doing so many other games that don't have that, and then you gotta improvise, and this game has that. So it's like, it's so nice. So nice. As you can see right here, this is when we did the other wall, right? Now we finally gonna get to attach it, and then now in those corners is when we're gonna do the little corner pieces, and then it just kind of start falling into place slowly. So we're gonna put it on the other side as well. Now, when you're doing this, just be patient with yourself when you're working on roof. Is the one area that I'm constantly having to kind of like stay calm. You're right. I mean, I don't know why I struggle so much when it comes to roofing in this game, but I do. And sometimes they just don't fall the way you want to, and you gotta move things. But here it is. Here's how the roof is looking. Everything is looking good. We put in the corner pieces. Everything is taking shape. Everything is finally filling together, looking good, and just working together. So now what I did is I extended the side of the roof. I felt like it wasn't, I don't know, I wanted a little more extension, so I kind of extended on the side. I went kind of full, but you can also go with the half piece if you feel like it's too wide the way I made it, so you can go a little bit smaller. You just adjust your design as you need to as you're watching this. Now the one on the sides, the two sides, right, we're definitely going to have two doors and then a window in the middle, and then the one in the front is going to have a door in the middle and two windows on the side. So that's kind of like how I did it different. Just again, just to give a different look, just do what you feel is right for your home, for this style, for the design. You may be thinking of something different, and just go for what you feel like is best. Now what I'm doing over here, we're extending the roof a little bit more low, just because I don't know, it just felt like it needed to be a little bit lower. It just felt too high. I wanted the roof to feel like come down. We got all these extra walls, so let's just bring it down a little bit more. And as you can see over here, I'm trying to match again the roofing, also to match it to the balcony that we're gonna build. So that's what I just did right there, just to make sure. Again, you can make the balcony to extend more. You don't have to have a balcony, and you can just enclose it and just make that an enclosure and just make it a window, and that will give you kind of like a whole different house look and design if that's something that you want. Now again, I'm working on these corner pieces. I struggled just a little bit, but I was able to manage to get it just right, and just by working my way down with the big, the medium, and then I believe I went small at the end, or maybe we went medium, but I think we're going small, and just kind of work your way down. Again, just be patient when you're building the roofing, and the more patience you have, then the better it's gonna come out at the end. And as you can see right here, I think I went back to the medium piece and tried to get that, and then I did a smaller little roofing, the last little one. So instead of going with the medium, I went with the small, and that's what I added in the corner. That went with the little roof piece, corner piece, and it just kind of made it nice and flush. And then we got to do the same thing on the other side. Now usually, so far in RuneScape, usually what you do one side, you can do on the other side. Sometimes you encounter little problems here and there, and I still don't know if it's just a bug, because I'm like, I did the same thing on the other side. It should work on the other side. Sometimes it doesn't do it, but just be patient with yourself. And as you can see, we're doing the roofing on the side. We're adding the last couple pieces over here. Something, I don't know why it did that to me, and it left me like a little one different compared with the other side. Sometimes I don't know, I might be putting the roof in a different way and overlap in a different way, and it just didn't do what I needed to do. But I just put another piece and that worked. But as you can see, now we're getting the roof on the side, we got the roof on the front. Now we put in the triangle pieces just to create a wall on the inside, creates this depth. It just by creating this depth, it just kind of feels kind of nice, right? Because when you look in the side of the roof, this is more deeper, and then you got the balcony hanging out. It's just really nice. Now the balcony, at first I kind of put the flooring almost all the way to the wall, and then I didn't like that. The other side had it in a different way, and that's why you see me deleting here and kind of matching the square and kind of align it with the windows in the beginning. And that's kind of how I did my measurements when it comes to that. When you do the balcony, just do it the way you would like to do it, and I think that also will be the best way for you. Now over here, at first I was gonna just keep the roof pieces, and we're gonna do the balcony, and it's just we're gonna see the roof, but all of that changed eventually, and it's not gonna look like that anymore. On the back, I'm just adding these little triangle pieces just to give it a little more depth when it comes to the back of the house. This is optional. You truly don't have to do this, and it could just be a flat roof on the back, or you can imitate exactly what I did in the front. You can do it in the back if you want to. Just do what you feel, right? If this step is a little too much, you don't have to do it. If you want to do just one big one, you can do one big one. If you want to do a couple more small ones, you can do that. You can even add one on the top, in the middle, if you wanted to. I just added kind of the little two right there, and it just, again, for me, I just wanted to give it a little bit of more depth. And when you look at it from the back, it just looks like there's something more there to look at. We're using the corner pieces because the medium size don't go, they don't flesh out to the wall. So we're doing the corner pieces, and then we're putting a little foundation, well, doing a little roof pieces and put it right underneath, and then eventually we're gonna put a little wall so it kind of fleshed out with the roof. Now over here we're creating the balcony. Now we still don't have fences, of course, or we don't have a smaller, we need kind of like a half of this one. Half of this piece will be great, because then I don't have to do kind of like this idea when we do the balconies or stuff like that. If you want kind of like this little framework, because it's too high, right? But I do want to bring it down. Now, as you can see, I'm doing the two-tone woods. I am using the majority of the build, it is using tier 2, but we're still using tier 1 just to give it a different look in some areas. I just felt like it was gonna be too nice and too neat by going all tier 2. So I'm kind of mix and matching like the balconies and stuff like that, just to give it a little more of a fade out type of wood in these particular areas. And then in some of the areas we are definitely using the tier 2. When it comes to the roofing, I did some testing. I'm using the tier 2 just because I never used it, but I also in the beginning I did tested it with the tier 1 roofing, and it looks really nice. And I did that, I added the tier 1 roofing into the side of the house in one of the kind of the extension of the building, just to give it a little bit of different look, and I think it looks really nice. So I think is when you're using these pieces, you can kind of mix and match a lot and create something different and unique. No, just because you're using tier 2 doesn't mean you have to use everything tier 2, because in many ways I think the tier 1 roofing, I kind of like it more because it just feels more like a home in many ways compared with the tier 2 roofing. But again, all of that comes to taste, and if you what you like, that's the most important part, and use the pieces that you like. Now I wanted something different in the front, so we adding a little roofing in the front. I went to different scenarios on here, and this is, we're getting close to the portion that when I came back and I kept working, the other portion of the video that I was recording, every time I want to open it, it doesn't open. It doesn't want to open. So, and I believe that would have been maybe close to like another 2 hours of footage that I could not kept and edit, because it doesn't want to open. It's just corrupted. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to the file. Why it's like that? I'm a little disappointed that happened. But the good thing about that part is when I was doing a lot of the change ups, right? Changing here, changing that. The actual build, the great thing is you'll be able to follow. It's just the final details that we were doing, replacing things here and there. All of that is gone. Also, the showing kind of how to build the nook side, that part it was on that particular video. As you can see over here, I changed my mind on the balcony, and I wanted to do something that had a little more foundation and stuff, and so I was switching around and just adding the roofing, just flip it around and just show wood on the bottom, and it just feels better like an structure that's holding. And I kind of like the feel, and I believe I'm using here like the 30-degree roofing, and it just fit very, very nicely. And then we're doing the triangle pieces just to make it feel a little more fuller, and then we adding some of the wood pieces right over here. Now these wood pieces here, at first I was gonna keep it all wood, but it wasn't working completely. So what I decided to do is just those wood pieces that you saw, I went back to the tier 2, take those out, added the tier 2, but kept everything else with the tier 1 materials, and that gave it a really nice combination in my opinion. As you can see, this is where we were extending the roof on the back because I never finished it, so we adding that. In the front over here, when it comes to the roofing, you're gonna see different versions like 3, this, but I ended up just keeping the one that's basically the look that I like at the end. This is kind of walking and showcasing a lot of the stuff that we got. What I wanted to do on the side over here of the home, because it kind of still look plain and we don't have gardens, we don't have flowers, we don't have flower beds, we don't have a lot of that stuff just yet. So kind of doing a deck around the homes and stuff like that, it kind of is one of those things that makes the home feel a lot better. So what I'm doing is, this is something that I did for the cottage house. So I kind of took that idea and did a little entryway with the triangle pieces, and then I just put stairs all the way around, and it will lead you inside the home or kind of onto the side, and then leading you into the deck. Now the deck will have one level lower that is just the same level, and then on the other side it's gonna meet, and then it's gonna go up a little bit. And again, one of the reasons to do that is just to give it a little flair into the look. Now this is a couple beams that I wanted to add. I did couple testing, and I want to add like a beam there, and the kind of the same thing on the other corner, and do the same thing on the back. Now something that I think I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna go back, is adding more of those beams like that, but kind of more across the back, just to give it again a little extra look in the back. And I still want to fix the back wall because I got all the pieces kind of facing the same diagonal way, so all of that gotta kind of tweak it, you know, to make more sense. Now this is what I was telling you earlier. At first I left the roof pieces, but now I like the balcony style that we did on the sides, so I want to bring that into the front as well. So I took all the roof and we add in that. This is kind of like the roof piece over here, and now we do the jump. This is when the video no longer working, and kind of we do this time jump, and you see a couple things that are being done, right? The deck on the side, we got the thing on the for the torches, kind of like this corner pieces, and then we got like that little nook cranny on the side. Those are the things that kind of you missed out on, but you saw it on the walkthrough, so you kind of should be able to do it over here. Some of the things that I changed was taking out the walls, adding the windows and stuff like that on those higher tier setting. But it did the part of the video that was missing was a lot of those fine details, right? Over here I'm doing a little roofing, kind of like go up just a little bit, that way it's not just completely flat. Again, these are details I maybe they are a little bit of overkill, but I kind of like the look. It doesn't have to be for every building. Maybe you do it for a main building, or a main building that you're doing, or maybe just for your home or something like that. But if you do that, I'm doing the 45, and then I ended up with the 30, and it kind of just goes flat down, and then it kind of goes up a little bit, and I feel like it gives it a nice little look. So you may like it, and if you don't like it, you can just keep it the way the roof just go down. This is when we talked about earlier, and I was changing, and I just adding the white pieces. The rest is the same, it's just in the front there was something not working for me, so I decided to just, if I add the white pieces, that's what's gonna look better, and it kind of shape out better. But as you can see, I actually left the doors on the side. I did left them as the tier 1 doors because I actually like that look. Then we add in the pieces in the back over here of the build, just again, just to give it a little bit more of a look. And also on the triangle pieces in the front, I want to square that off, and I did it for the triangle pieces in the back as well. Again, just kind of keep everything harmony, and if I did it in one area, let's just do it in all the areas so everything can work together. Now over here on this side, I wanted to do kind of like a little section. Now this little building, if you're using it, if you're gonna use this home for a functional, you can put something over here. Maybe this is gonna be, it's a little smaller, you could make it bigger if you need to, but depending what you want to put, you can put some of your tool machines or stuff like that, because this will have a roof over here. Again, if this is too small, you can actually expand it out. Instead of using like the little door and the little half wall, you can make it full and just make a big door in the middle and go all in. Now over here, I actually couldn't go the roof all the way high, because and then it will block the window. So you see the building kind of clipping in at the end, but I think this gives it a little nice look, and kind of gives you that little edge right there. And again, I'm adding this kind of little buildings here, not that you have to do it, but it kind of gives it this little extra dimension over here. Now if you were going to start decorating as well, you can put barrels and do all these little decorations. Now I'm not doing a lot of the decorations right now because I don't even know what I want my actual base to be. I just enjoy building and listening to people's ideas and what people are voicing out and what they would like to see. And that's kind of what I'm doing, right? Just being inspired and building and as I go. So at one point I gotta decide and then just kind of keep building a base or something. But I've been having a lot of fun just coming up with ideas and houses and listening to the community, what they're trying to do, what they're trying to build and bring in. And also it's been really nice seeing people being inspired by the builds and adding these builds to their bases to make their bases even better. And to me that means the world. It truly is, to know that people are just being inspired and just building this and then making them better than what I did and making them fit, and it's just so cool, so cool. And thank you so much for the people that go into the Discord and posted pictures of their inspiration and how my build helped them to do theirs even better. And some of them, man, they take the inspiration, they make it even better. But as you can see, we added the little fencing over here. Again, I went with the tier 1 stuff. And guys, that is the build. That is what we did. This is what we managed to do this round. And I'm so excited because we got to use tier 2 stuff. But guys, I do want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I'll see you all on the next one. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.